graphing calculator today, but you do need a regular calculator.
I don't have a regular.
Well, then get a graphing one.
Okay.
Hey, y'all, I have brownies for $1.
Well, if I had change for a 20, and you stop rubbing it in my face.
Hey, quit hollering.
See, I don't even hear
Yeah?
What class grade is this in regular?
Third.
Third.
Yeah.
She is third. Okay, third.
Yeah. Well,
Seven.
oh, her side was confused? Oh, that's right. She's not going to be here today. Which one does not belong and why? No. How about we try putting them all in the same kind of setup? Does that sound like a plan to y'all? So the easiest setup is like number 1. So how do I write number 2? Do you remember doing the and or inequality problems? It's been a while. How do I write this one just like this one? You have to put X in the middle, right? So grab your justification sheet, and I put it on the back of the other one. That way you could kind of use both at the same time, okay? So let's flip this over. So let's see. Remember, what was the little sing-song that we used to remember how to write this correctly? Start with an M. Mace. There you go. And M stands for modeling. So the way we're going to model is we're going to write these all in the same way. So the first one was -3 less than X less than 5. All right. How do I write the second one? So look at the second one. What's the smallest number? 2. So it's going to go on the left. All right. Look at that 2. Is that mouth open or closed to the 2? It's closed to the 2. So I'm going to keep it closed to the 2 when I rewrite it. Then X goes in the middle. We're looking at our bell ringer from the 27th, by the way, for those of you that came in late. And then the other number was 3, right? Okay, look at that mouth of the 3 on your bell ringer. That mouth is open to the 3, so I'm going to keep it open to the 3. Oh my gosh, look at them. See how they're the same thing? So glad you didn't pick the first one. What about the second one? What's the smallest number in the second one? How much? 1. There you go. Look at that mouth to the 1. Is that mouth open or closed to the 1? It's open. You might want to have both of your sheets out, guys. We're looking at this one from the 27th for the second time. Look at this one from the 27th. All right, let's see. And then X goes in the middle. And then my other number was 5. What about that mouth to the 5? Is that mouth open or closed to the 5? Closed. There you go. All right, what about the next one? What's the smallest number on that one? -4. That mouth is closed to the -4. So I'm going to keep it closed to -4. All right, what's my other number? -2. And that mouth is closed to the -2. So now that they're all written the same way, let us answer. Oh, Lord, I can't spell. There we go. Let us answer our question. What did the question ask us? Which one does belong? Which one doesn't belong? The last one. Why does the last one not belong? Because all the other 3
they all have the arrows going the same way.
they all have the arrows going the same way, right? You can say corresponding if you want to. That's fine. That's a good vocab word. This one, they do not have their arrows pointing the same way, okay? So we don't have, C stood for calculate. There's nothing to really calculate in this problem, right? So then we're going to explain, okay? So we can say the last inequality. Remember, we like to use that vocab, right? So we're not going to say the last one. We're going to say the last inequality, or should we say compound inequality? We really should say that. And then we'll see -4. X is greater than -4, and X is greater than -2, is not like the others. Because why? Okay, because when I write it, see, when I write the inequality as a compound, what'd you say, Dee? The arrows what?
Do not correspond.
The arrows do not correspond? My pen's right out. There we go. Did we need to use our graph? Nope. So we're good. Ma'am? The last compound inequality, x greater than -4 and x greater than -2. Is not like the others because when I write the inequality as a compound, the arrows do not correspond. Okay, so we got a quiz to bless you. We got a quiz tomorrow, right? Everybody good? You got homework due tomorrow? I did add one thing to the quiz, so if you y'all want to go over what's going to be on your quiz tomorrow, just to make sure we're all good, because I did add something to the quiz yesterday. All right, so put your bell ringers up. By the way, yes, ma'am. Sure, go ahead and turn it in today. Yes. Yeah, just stick it in the chair. Or get a friend to hand it to a friend later on this afternoon. Ask them to turn it in for you tomorrow. That's fine. All right, tomorrow I'm not going to be here, okay? So if you're not going to be here, you need to make sure you turn your homework in today because it's been like, what, almost a week that you've had this homework, so you've had plenty of time to get it done. This will be your bell ringer for tomorrow, okay? So 1, 2, and 3 should not be any issue. So y'all make sure that y'all go over these tomorrow. Are y'all good with that? Going over these tomorrow? Your quiz will not take you the whole class period, okay? It will not take you the whole class period. So y'all spend about 10 minutes going over these tomorrow. I'm going to leave the sub-directions where y'all can write stuff on the board. Y'all just make sure you put my markers back, okay? So y'all go pick 1, 2, and 3. Y'all work 1, 2, and 3 on the board. Y'all go through it. Number 4. Let's just work through this real quick. We're not going to do the problem. I'm just going to help you out. So what's the question say? For what? Turkey burgers, right? So what am I going to look at? I'm going to look at turkey burgers sold on October 1st. Which of the following pairs gives the restaurants that receive the greatest amount of what? Money. Okay? So what does that mean? Which table will I look at? The prices, right? And I'm looking at the turkey burgers. Does that make sense to everybody? Anybody lost? Okay, so I helped you out for tomorrow. Okay, so let's do this. Let's look at what's going to be on your quiz tomorrow. Your homework was page 9 and 11. All right. So let's go over this one more time. Anywhere in here does it say use your graphing calculator? No, that doesn't mean you can't use it. You can use your graphing calculator on every single part of this quiz, guys, okay? But the only thing is, if it doesn't say use your graphing calculator, you have to show me the work. You have to show me your vertex formula is is x equals negative b over 2a, right? You have to show me where you plugged in 0 to find the y-intercept. You have to show me where you plugged in your x value to find your y value for your vertex. Does that make sense to everybody? All right, that's 2 days in a row I've told you, so don't say I didn't tell you. All right, on the back, though, what's it say? Okay, do you have to show me any work? No, you just tell me what the answer is, and you go from there. Everybody okay? You should all make, like, really, really, really good grades on this quiz because you can use your calculator to check your answers, okay? Am I lost? Okay, the last thing that I added on here was... Where's it at? What page is it on? Right here. Page 4, where it says solve by what? Graphing. So, solve by graphing. Do you have to show me any work? No. I might would show me where I added this 12 over. So, I might would show that just in case you get a sign wrong. I can see what you did wrong. But then you can just tell me your answers. Does that make sense to everybody? That's it. That's all that's on your quiz. Should be pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Any questions? Okay. All right. We're going to do some new stuff today. Yay! I so love new stuff. Okay, do you remember the bell ringer problem that we did? I think it was Friday before the ACT with the i's and the I squared. Do you remember that problem we did? Okay. Oh my gosh, look at page 15. What does it say that we're doing? Complex numbers. Complex numbers. And oh my goodness, what are those letters? What are those letters? I. Y'all ready? Okay. This is the last thing that we're going to learn. And then we'll take a test next week. We'll probably review on Monday and Tuesday and take a test on Wednesday. Okay, does that sound good to everybody? Okay. All right, here we go. So what's the square root of 25? 5. Are y'all dead today? Totally? Oh, Lord have mercy. All right, what about, we went over this, okay? So let's go over this again. The square root of 25 is 5, correct? But now that you've got this negative, you can't really take the square root of negative 25. So it's not just 5, it's 5i. Do you remember yesterday when we did that problem where we had the helicopter and you had a parabola like this? And we didn't look at this x-intercept because we said time could not be negative, right? Okay, that's the kind of stuff that where imaginary numbers come into play. Does that make sense to everybody? So let's remember about I squared. What was I squared? Negative 1. So right here, the imaginary unit I is defined to be I squared equals negative 1. There you go. Okay, so it says the number I is the principal square root of negative 1. That means that just an I, so if I squared is negative 1, just an I would be square root. How do you get rid of a square? You square root negative 1. So right here, if I were to get rid of this square, right, how do I...
Miss Blackman?
Yes, ma'am?
So you put sitting in hall there, we have something in the main office to pick up.
Yes, ma'am. All right, so look right here, Matthew. If I were to do I squared equals negative 1, right, I need to get rid of the square, so I would square root. So I would just be square root of negative 1. That's what it's saying right here. Got it? Okay. You okay today? Okay. All right, so what's the square root of negative 21? Come on, you got to know those perfect squares. 11. I, because it's a negative, right? That's all we're doing. Oh, what about 196? How much? 13? Which one? No, it's not. It's 14. 13 was 169. This is the one that was backwards. All right, what about negative 324? 18 what? I. There you go. Now, do you see why I made you learn them? You have to know them, guys. You have to. All right. What about this one? Can I multiply these two numbers? Why? How? They're both square roots, right? It doesn't really matter about the negatives. They both have square roots. So what's negative 2 times negative 36? Positive 64, right? So when I square root that, what's my answer? 8 or 8i? 8. Very nice, because it was a positive, right? Does that make sense? All right, what about 75 times, negative 75 times negative 3?
Positive 225.
Positive 225, square root, right? Since it's positive, what's the square root of 225?
15.
Just 15, not 15i. All right, what about these two? Can I multiply the 6 and the 4? Yes, what's 6 times 4? 24, and when I do I times I, it is I squared. Oh my goodness, what's I squared? So it's 24 times negative 1, which is negative 24. There you go. Very nice. Everybody okay? Anybody lost? Mike, you getting this, baby? All right, what about negative 3i times 7i? Negative pi, I heard, that's what I heard. Negative 21i squared. And then that I squared is negative 1. So that's positive 21. Very nice. Yes, sir.
So, on the test next week, if we don't show that we multiply it by negative...
No, you don't have to. Like, I know that this is -1, which changes the sign. Just give me 21. I'm just writing this down so that you can see how I did it. Y'all okay? I know this is different stuff. Okay, what about this one? So, it would, right? Because this is I squared times I squared. So that's -1 times -1, which is +1. Very nice. So what you need to know, this is very, very, very important, okay? So you need to know I squared is -1, and I to the 4th is +1. All right, now number 9. So guys, this is getting to where it's too much to write out. You could still write this one out if you wanted to, right? I squared, I squared, I squared, I squared, I squared, and then I. You could do that. But there's a simpler way to do it. Yes, sir?
I mean, I've always just done it like, if it's an odd number, then it's going to be big.
Not always. These are a little different. These are a little different. You're thinking about when you plug it in -1. If just I was -1, then that would be right. But since I squared is -1, it's a little bit different, okay? So what you do is you take this I to the 4 like we just did, okay? Yes. How many times does 4 go into 11? So I can rewrite this as I to the 4.
2 times.
2 times, right? So how many i's is that?
8.
Remember, multiply the bases, add the exponents? So you only have 8, so you got 1 left over. Excuse me, how many do you have left over? 3 left over. So this is 1, and this is 1. But I can still break this one down, because what's in this one? I squared, and that leaves me with 1 left over, right? You can, guys, you can do anything to these problems that you want to as long as you don't change the meaning, okay? I still have 11 i's right here. That's why I can break this up. I still have 3 i's right here. 2 and 1 is 3. That's why I can break this up. Does that make sense to everybody? All right, so this is +1.
So what is this going to be? -1?
Which is just -I. Very good. Very good. Y'all okay? All right, what about 25? How many, let's see, how many times will 4 go in 25? 6? So is it okay with y'all if I just reread it like this? Remember when you had 1 base, you multiplied the i's? Remember that from algebra? I know it's been a minute. So 4 times 6 is 24, right? I can do anything I want to a problem as long as I don't change the meaning. I've changed the meaning. I only have 24 instead of 25. So what do I have to do? Put 1 more out here to the side, right? So what is I to the 4th?
1.
1 to the 6th power. And what's 1 to the 6th power still?
1.
Just 1 I or just I. There you go. Do y'all know how to do powers on your calculators? You want me to show you? Yes, ma'am. Okay, let me do it again. Hold on. Yeah, I just want to show everybody just in case. I know y'all know how to do it, but there's a couple of people that I'm not sure. Because this was... So, this little arrow right here, if you do 1 and then that little arrow to the 6th power, you still get 1. Everybody okay?
Is there an I button
Right here,
on calculator?
I'm showing you how I got this right here. So this is just 1 caret 6. That's how I got 1 I, or just I.
Wait, what?
It's black.
Hold on, Scotty.
This is directly. If you just press any number, you do that, you can make it. Like the powers, like this would be 1 to the 23rd person accurate right there. And
So now show her 1 to the 6th power, Scotty, like what we did.
1 to the 6th power.
See, that's how we just got 1 I, or just I. Okay. D, do you just want me to do number 11 or slowly?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Is there an I button?
There is, but we're not getting there yet. There is. All right, so here we go. So D, I know that I to the 4th is +1, right? So we want to use the biggest one. I could use I squared, but I don't want to deal with negatives. So let's do I to the 4th. So how many times does 4 go into 20? 5. So do you remember from algebra that if you had 1 base of I, you multiplied these two? So 4 times 5 is still 20. So I can do anything I want to these problems as long as I don't change it. I still have 20 i's. I just wrote it differently. So now I'm good. This one I had 1 base. When I multiplied, I had 24. That's changing the problem because I have to have 25. So 24 and then 1 more makes 25. Does that make sense? Okay. So what is I to the 4th? 1. All right, so Michaela, this is what we did right here. You ready? So we're going to plug in 1 to the 5th. So we're going to do that by going 1 and that little caret button right below clear that Scotty showed you. And then to the 5th power. And that's just 1. But anything to any 1 to any power is still 1. Any positive power, excuse me. Y'all okay? It's not bad, right?
Okay, can I ask something?
Yeah.
What would happen if we did like alpha?
That's something different. That's something different. We're not there yet. All right, let's look at number 1. You ready? This is just like what we did on that ACT bell ringer problem. Is this multiplication right here? Do you remember that problem with the bell ringer? Just like this one. All right, so look at here. This is like your bell ringer test that we did not too long ago, about a week ago. You got to make sure that you do what's in the middle. There's a plus sign here. So what am I going to add? What are the 2 that I'm going to add? The like terms, which ones are those? 5 and 2, because they don't have letters, right? So I'm going to add them, because right here in the middle, 5 plus 2 is 7. All right, then I'm going to add my letters, which is negative 7i and 4i. How much is that? Negative 3i, okay? We normally write our I in the back, but it does not matter. We just always want this leading coefficient to be positive, right? That's why we write the 7 in the front. All right, what about number 2? What are we going to do here? You're going to subtract. So I'm going to say 4 subtract 3 is how much? Positive 1. And then I'm going to say negative 8 subtract negative 6. Be careful. Negative 2i. Very good. Negative 8 subtract negative 6. Those become a positive. Are y'all okay with this? All right, what about this one? You should be able to do the first. What's my first? Negative 6. What's my outer? Positive 12i. There you go. Don't forget your I. What's your inner? And be careful on your last. Plus 8i squared. There you go. Oh my gosh, what's I squared? Negative 1. And I can combine 12 and 4. So that's negative 6 plus 8i plus 8 times negative 1. If you can go ahead and say negative 8, then do it. I got to write the steps for people that can't see it. One more step. What you see?
Negative 6 and negative 8.
Negative 6 and negative 8. How much?
Negative 14.
There you go.
Where did you get the minus 4i?
Where? Whoa, slow down. What?
Like, okay, so you know you have negative 6 plus 12i.
Yeah?
And minus 4i.
I'm foiling, baby. First, outer, inner, last. Yes, yes, sir.
I thought you said you didn't want to.
I know, that's why I hadn't circled it yet. Are y'all okay? All right, now this is not wrong, okay? It's not wrong. But we don't normally like our leading coefficient to be negative. So let's just switch it around. Either one of these is correct, okay? Either one is correct. It does not matter. It does not matter, okay? Either one is correct. Are y'all okay? All right, what about number 4? So, Sydney, we're going to FOIL, okay? First, outer, inner, last. What's my first? 54. Oh, the 6 and the 9, baby. You're doing your outer.
Yeah.
Now do your outer. It's 12i. What's your inner?
Negative 72.
There you go. What's my last? I squared. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to combine 12 and negative 72. How much is that? Minus 60i. There you go. It's negative 60. Now look, if you can go ahead and say I squared is negative 1, right? If you can go ahead and say plus 16, then do it. But I got to write this step for people that need it. All right, last thing, what can I do? 54 plus 16 is how much? 70, there you go, minus 60i. Y'all okay? Not too bad, right? Ooh, y'all quiet today. Y'all never quiet.
What did you do with 16?
54 plus 16 is 70.
Huh.
Yeah, I just combined these two right here. All right, let's flip over. What time we get out of here? 24? We got plenty of time. All right. Page 16. All right, y'all try 5 through 8. 5 through 8, 5 through 8. And then we're going to do some new stuff at the bottom. 5 through 8.
Ms. Blackman?
Yes, ma'am.
Did I call for Sydney Hall to the main office to pick something up?
No, ma'am, you just said whenever she was going later.
Okay, yeah, I just couldn't remember if I called or not.
Yes, ma'am, you did.
Look, it's the same thing, just like anything else we do.
All right, so Grace did number 5 on the board for you guys. Make sure you get the same answer as her. Seth is doing number 6 for you on the board.
So that just changes. Yes. I would tell you how to do the one score. That just depends on your age. Oh, okay. You did factor out a negative something and then you want to. So it's part of the okay, so I just done my sign. Yeah. Okay. That's what it's not unsquared, it's off. So it's not negative. Oh. Right? What'd you get? Because you're saying this is I screwed again. So you're saying your name right there.
Number 8's just like all of this. Yeah, it's a 4.
Because you had 2 eyes.
First time.
So on all of them, you still have an eye. And when you still don't, you still have an eye. You're still in that. That would be possible.
Hey, do this real quick. Put a plus sign right there. There you go. All right, guys, and Mike's doing number 8. Y'all take number 8 because this is right. Yes. Because we're going to learn something. Yes.
And then plus 1. No, it's not. It's just -1. So -4 times -1. Yep. -4 is I, and then it's 1. -4 times -1. No more I left.
That's number. You just put it. Or you just. No, that's for number 8. It's just now. See, so I got one marked out.
Good job, Mike.
All right, so let's look at number 6 real quick because a lot of y'all are not getting how we got this 5. So -2i and +2i go away, right? So let's do this. Good job, Seth, by the way. Let me just show them some more work. So this is 1 minus 4i squared is -1. So that's 1 plus 4, and that's +5. That's where you got it from. Y'all okay? All right, what about 8? Are y'all good on 8? Because we're about to start something new. Go over 7. -2 plus 1 is -1. And then 5i plus -7 is -2. All right. No, we're adding. We're not multiplying. Multiply the bases, add the exponents. But we're not multiplying, we're adding. All right, y'all ready? Do you remember in Algebra 1 that you couldn't have something in particular on the bottom of a fraction besides 0? What else could you not have on the bottom of a fraction? It was not proper. Not a decimal, not a variable. A square root, right? You cannot have a square root. And guys, we just went over what I was. I is the square root of -1, correct? So that means I cannot have the I on the bottom either. So I've got to fix that. So to fix that, remember rationalizing the denominator? Ooh, it's been a minute, hasn't it? So what's the opposite of division? Multiplication. And you can multiply anything by what number and it's not going to change it? No. 1, right? So I can multiply this by 1. Now look guys, it's not going to look like 1, okay? So what's 5 divided by 5? And don't you dare say 5. 1. What's 11 divided by 11? What's x divided by x? 1. So what's I divided by I? 1. You can multiply anything you want by 1. It may not look like 1, but this simplifies to be 1, right? All right, so what do I have? I have I times 4 plus I. All I did was smush these top numerators together. That's it. I didn't do any math. I just smushed them. All right, can we go ahead and multiply this? What's 5i times I? Almost gave you the answer. 5i squared. There you go. Almost gave you the answer. You okay with that? So now what can I do? I can multiply this I, right? Distribute it. So that'll be 4I plus I squared over 5 times negative 1 is negative 5. There you go. If you can go ahead and say negative 5, do it. I need to write the steps for some people. All right, what else can I do?
The I squared.
The I squared right here becomes negative 1, right? So this is 4I minus 1. Can I do anything else? Nope, I'm done. Are y'all okay? Kind of, sort of?
Yeah, I mean, it's okay, but I don't see the point in it.
Because, well, a lot of reasons. First of all, you can't have, it's not proper to have a square root in the bottom, so you have to fix it. You have to make it proper, okay?
Okay.
I is the same thing as negative 1I. So now the whole point of it was to make sure I don't have any square roots or any i's in the bottom, which
That's
is,
what
I
we're
don't.
solving for.
Yes.
Okay.
You will never, ever, ever see this as an answer choice on a multiple choice test because it's not proper. So you need to make sure you know how to fix it to make it proper so you can find your correct answer.
All right. So I see the point.
Okay. All right, number 10. Do you remember conjugates? You know the word conjugates?
Do I want to?
Yeah. Number 6 was a conjugate, which is why the outer and the inner canceled out. Because they're the exact same thing except for what? The signs, right? So right here, I'm going to multiply by the conjugate. So what's the conjugate of 3 plus 6i? 3 minus 6i. Why is that legal? Because anything divided by itself is 1, correct? So I haven't changed the meaning. This is just multiplying by 1. Alright, so I'm going to smush, okay? All I'm going to do is smush. 2i times 3 minus 6i. I didn't do any math. I just smushed them. Same thing on the bottom. I'm not going to do any math. I'm just going to smush them together. Are y'all okay? We just multiplied by the conjugate and smushed them. Yes, Matthew? Because I have more than just I here. This is just 5 times I, right? It's pretty simple. This is way more than that. This is 3 plus 6i. It's way more than that. Anytime you have a plus or a minus sign, you're always going to do the conjugate. Like this one down here, you have a minus sign, so you're going to do the conjugate. This, I didn't have the minus sign or a plus sign, so I just multiplied by I. Alright, so I'm going to distribute. So look, pretend like the bottom's not there, right? I'm just going to distribute that like normal. 2i times 3, 2i times negative 6. Bless you. So what's that top give me? 6i minus how much? 12i squared. Oh my gosh, there's that I squared again. Woohoo! Oh my goodness, these are conjugates. Let's make my life simple, shall we? You ready? When you do conjugates, what happens to the outer and the inner? They will always cancel out. So all you have to multiply was the first and the last. So make your life easy, okay? Anytime you have conjugates, all you have to multiply is the first, which is 9, and the last, which is negative 36i squared. Is it wrong to FOIL the whole thing? No. But every single time, what's going to happen? Outer and the inner is going to cancel out. Alright, so what's I squared? Negative 1. So I got 6i minus 12 times negative 1 on the top. And I got 9 minus 36 times negative 1 on the bottom. Alright, so that's 6i plus 12 over 9 plus 36.
And you could factor or not factor out.
Well, what can I do on the bottom first? I'm going to add 9 and 36. How much is 9 plus 36?
45.
45.
You should reduce.
And I can reduce all of those by what number?
3.
All of them by 3. Yep. So what's 6 divided by 3? 2. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Let's do this. How about we do this? How about we factor that 3 out to the front? That way we don't confuse y'all. Does that sound good? I just pulled a 3 out to the front. Anybody lost?
Well, I guess you could put times or divided by 3 over 3.
Yes. So now let's reduce these right here. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 45 divided by 3 is
15.
15, not 4. So this is 2i plus 4
Yeah, I know.
over 15. I know. All right, we got one more. One more. All right, Matthew, right here, it's got a minus sign, right? So as soon as you see that minus sign, you're going to do the conjugate. What's the conjugate of 1 minus I?
1 plus
1 plus I. Top and bottom. Y'all remember doing this in Algebra 1? For real? I know we did it. Because y'all freaked out just as much then.
I remember doing
You did it. You remember doing conjugates? Okay.
We didn't do eyes, did we?
No, we did not do I's. We did square roots. We did square roots in Algebra 1. Alright, so let me make this where you can see it. Alright, so all I'm going to do is smush, right? I'm not going to do any math whatsoever. I'm just going to smush. 2 plus I times 1 plus I over 1 minus I times 1 plus I. All I did was smush. I didn't do any math. Are y'all okay? Alright. Are the top two conjugates, are they easy? No. So you got to do the whole FOILing, okay? So my first, 2 times 1 is 2. My outer is 2i. My inner is 1i, or just I. And my last is I squared. There you go. Alright, are there bottom two conjugates? Yes, what's it mean to be a conjugate? They're the exact same thing except for the signs, right? So all you have to do is the first, 1 times 1 is 1. And the last, negative I times positive I, negative I squared. There you go. Let me put this right here so it'll make it focus better. Hold on, guys. I don't like the calculator today. Usually it focuses with the calculator. Alright, so what can I do? A couple of things. Come on, we don't have long. Add the i's. 2i plus 1i is 3i. What else can I do? Change the I squares to negative 1s, right? So this is 1 minus negative 1. Goodness gracious, come on, work. Y'all don't look at the screen. Hold on. Oh, that's probably hurting your eyes. Alright, there we go. So you see how I did that? 1 minus negative 1 right there? So how much is 1 minus negative 1? Positive 1. And then on the top, how much is 2 minus 1? Positive 1. And one more step. What you got? Add the bottom. So that's 2. And I don't have an I in the bottom anymore, so I'm good. The whole purpose of that was to get I out of the bottom. Are y'all okay? Alright, here's your homework problem right here. Homework. One problem. So Matthew right here is a plus sign, right? So I'm going to do the conjugate. So 5 minus 6i. Y'all, we're pretty much finished. All we're going to do on Monday and Tuesday is review. And then we'll take our test Wednesday, unless y'all are ready, and we'll take it Tuesday. But it's up to y'all. Y'all okay? Oh, yes. I'm going to pass back your test. Thank you, Dee. Goodness gracious. I forgot all about that.